Hello and welcome to the orientation for the hybrid section of Intermediate Algebra. This version was updated for the fall of 2018 and beyond. This presentation is orientation to this course. This course has an orientation because it's not a traditional face-to-face course and it's not entirely all online, so you need to understand some of the guidelines so you know how to succeed as we proceed in the course. So, like I just said, you can read this, and this is posted in the Blackboard site. The topics in this course are basically for students who have completed 2 years of high school algebra but don't necessarily remember all of it or didn't get into enough depth when they did take it. So because you've seen the topics before, they are covered in an intensive and rapid format. So do not get behind. Taking a week and not doing the coursework will put you very far behind. You will have online lessons, you'll have some notes to print, videos to watch as you fill in the notes, and some homework for each lesson. And you will meet in the classroom for some more work on learning these topics and some time for questions. And I will show you some background information that you might need filled in. So the classroom time will make these lessons go better. And you'll also complete online quizzes and written tests. The online quizzes will be after several lessons are done, and they will be at home on your computer. The written tests will be in the testing center, and they will assess the material covered online in the classroom. The written test will also include a cumulative final exam. So here are the topics we will do. I'm sure you can read those. Some of those words look familiar, some of those do not. We will go over working with fractions in many different contexts as a way of review to get ready for these algebra topics. This is a developmental course and it does not fulfill an elective requirement, but it is getting you ready for Pre-Calculus 1 and anything beyond that you may take, or even if you're going to statistics, this review of algebra will be helpful. So what's different about this section of Math 094 is the way it's instructed. It's not delivered entirely in a face-to-face, I lecture, you listen, which is actually quite boring anyway. But the lessons are all posted. You could theoretically, though it's not recommended and won't result in the good grade, do all of the material online except for the testing. Like all of the information, all of the lectures is there. All of the instruction for how to do problems is already there in your Blackboard site. So when you complete these lessons each week, and there'll be a very detailed schedule that you should not get behind, you'll learn some things, you'll try some things and get some feedback, and then as you do lessons, you can email questions, go to the tutoring center to master each topic, and hopefully in class we'll be able to address difficulties that are common to students before they arise. But as you watch each video, you'll take some notes, and then there'll be a homework assignment, not a lengthy one, but a fairly short one that follows each, and you get several tries, and there's some instruction available within the homework assignments even. So all of that, the homework is done in MyMathLab, and there'll be quizzes about once a week in MyMathLab that cover several lessons each. You have somewhere between 2 and 4 lessons to do a week. Unit tests in the final exam will be written on paper and will be administered in the testing center within enforced deadlines. There'll be some review time for that during the class time, and I'll give you practice writing out solutions just in case doing it in MyMathLab you didn't really understand what was meant by show work. So here's what you need. You need the book. This price of $98.50, it may be a little bit more, but at the time this was written, the best price you could get on this was through the bookstore. It's important to understand you don't actually need a hard copy of the book. All you need is the e-text, which is obtained by getting the MyMathLab access code. MyMathLab is the portal through which your homework and online quizzes is done, and it contains links to the text. So I'd suggest check the bookstore, and it's somewheres around $100. You can buy it directly through Pearson's website if you want to check that price, but at the time this was written, the bookstore had a better price. This is the book you will use for Pre-Calculus 1 and currently for Pre-Calculus 2 also. So if in the next semester you take Pre-Calc 1, you shouldn't have to buy the book again. So you'll also need a scientific or graphing calculator, such as a TI-30. They're about $10 or $12. If you have a graphing calculator that's like a TI-83, 84, you can use it, but I'm not going to force you to, and it will not be an advantage because I will make your show work. So if you have a nice Casio scientific calculator or some other brand, that's fine. If you have any question, email me with the name, brand, and model of your calculator, and I'll let you know if it's adequate. You need to be able to access the internet. If you're watching this, you probably understand that already. It's best if you have access like everywhere. There's access at school in the computer labs and the library, but that's only during the times they're open. If you want to work later at night, you'll want to be able to access and do the course from home. You have to be able to open PDF files and view videos. The videos are all hosted in YouTube ultimately, so if you've been watching YouTube, you're probably all set. I recommend you use Google Chrome as your browser to get to Blackboard. You can try other browsers such as Firefox or Safari, but Chrome seems to be the most stable for this purpose. And if you have any troubles, you have to find this out immediately and let me know. Here is where you can get technical help. I may just end up referring you to one of these places if I can't figure out your problem immediately. If you're having just general technical problems, the North Shore Help Desk here will help you. If it's specifically a problem with Blackboard Learn, you can't find the course, for some reason you can't get into it, then you would use this email, the BB Help email. And my math lab is not done by the college, but it's done by the publisher. Pearson, MyLabandMastering.com is their email. Their customer support is very helpful, but you have to be patient and leave yourself plenty of time to get help at the beginning of the school year as they're busy. The first night of class will be very important because I will get you all logged into this. You should bring your access code if you've bought it. If you haven't, we'll do temporary access, which is good for about a week, but you're all going to be enrolled before you leave the first class. That should eliminate the need to call Pearson for much, or we'll have it pinpointed to exactly what you need to call about and who needs to call. So your time commitment. This is a 4-credit course, although we only meet 2 hours a week because the other 2 hours of class time is assumed to be done online. 4-credit college courses means 4 credits devoted to acquiring material through classes or online, and another 3 hours per credit, which would be another 12 hours for homework and really working on the material. So figure on 12 to 16 hours a week, and here's how that will be spent. You'll attend and participate in class 2 hours a week. You'll print out guide and notes and use them while viewing your online lessons. You'll do some MyMathLab homework assignments for each lesson, and if you understood things well in the lesson, those will go quicker. If they didn't, you'll need more time, and you may need to get help in the tutoring center for some topics, or get help from me by emailing me or seeing me in an office hour or emailing me for an appointment. And I will provide plenty of extra problems beyond your homework. If you just kind of squeak through the homework and yay, I finally got that and I managed to get them all right, because I give you multiple tries, you should be able to get the homework done and correct at some point. But if it was a real struggle, you're going to want to work on more problems. So I will provide plenty of extra problems to do. And then when it comes time for a test, you'll have clearly been given a study guide that says what topics are on, and a set of problems that give you examples of those topics, and you should try to do all those as you study for the test. You cannot succeed in this course if all you're going to do is come to class 2 hours a week. It just won't work. If it would work, you would have tested out of this course and directly into Pre-Calculus 1. So, how to get to our Blackboard Learn site. Here's the link. You can go directly to Blackboard, or you can log into Pipeline and click on the My Courses tab and see the Blackboard icon there. But when you enter our Blackboard Learn course site, you'll enter at the announcements page. To the left, you'll see the course, some other links. One will have the course syllabus and some other course information. The course calendar. I did not put the due dates for homework lessons there. They're in my math lab. You will see them when you enter. But I did put them for quizzes because those deadlines are firm. If you miss a homework deadline, there's a reduction in credit for the problems you didn't do, but you can still do them. If you miss a quiz, it's closed. There isn't actually a midterm. There's several unit tests, which are kind of all midterms, and then there's a final exam. All of this is found in the course calendar as well as on the course schedule that's at the end of the syllabus. Content and lessons, that is where your unit modules are. They contain each unit's lessons, and you'll have a detailed schedule of when you should be done with each lesson within each unit. I will also try to give you weekly announcements when you log into Blackboard. That's what you'll see is the most recent announcement. Some of them I will leave up for a longer amount of time. I will try to remind you of deadlines, although that is not my responsibility. You have it in writing in other places, but I will do everything I can to help you with that. And I'll have some links to the testing center information, tutoring information. We had what seemed to be a very good online tutoring service we used last semester, and if that's still available, we'll make sure that information's there too, and as well as our own in-person tutoring center in Lynn and Danvers. I'll try to put up some links for calculator helps for different calculators. There'll be some formulas and some tables, things like perfect squares, perfect cubes. Those will be helpful to know if you don't know them. And the link to the Desmos graphing calculator or graphing program, really. We'll be using this from time to time in class to do some lessons where we investigate the relationships of graphs to their equations. So, to succeed in this course, you have to do your assignments and be on time. I've taken an online course, and I know how easy it is to kind of forget it's there. You're coming once a week, but it might be easy to leave it 10 minutes to 6 on a Wednesday night and go, okay, I'm done for this week. You have to set a schedule for yourself. You have to have some good practice at being a good learner by knowing things take time and making a schedule where you pretend you have to go to the class, but instead you sit and do the work for this course. The deadlines that are established in the calendar are no later than. You can get ahead in this course, and if you were significantly ahead and wanted to take a test early, I'd be open to that, but I'd look to make sure you were doing things well. I wouldn't want you just zipping through without having mastered things, but people have finished this course early. So use your time in class to ask questions of each other, of myself. Class time is good to get to know other people in the classroom so you can maybe study together and work together outside of class. Complete the quizzes and tests on time or they are zeros. Maintain all of your printouts and notes for easy reference in a 3-ring binder just in case you don't remember where they were online, or there'll be some things in class I hand out, problem sets and things that you wouldn't have to print if you kept them. So each week I'll try to get the announcement out. You're going to take a look at the syllabus schedule and see what you're supposed to be doing. Find the course material in the lessons you're supposed to be doing. Do the My Math Lab homework for those lessons. Do whatever quiz you're supposed to have done. Do not wait for the last minute to do the quizzes. You do get 2 tries, but do them after you've done the homework or they won't come out very well. They're mostly pretty short, like 3 or 4 questions. You do get 2 tries though. I don't know why this says click on the grades link. The grades will be kept in Blackboard, but they're not updated immediately. If you do a bunch of homework in My Math Lab and then go look, those grades will still be the same as they were before until I sync the grades. I will try to sync them a couple times a week, but if you have a question about that, email me and I will sync them then so you can see how it affected your grade. Hopefully you're not just doing this by, oh, I just need to get the grade to a certain point and I'm done. Do as well as you can and the grades will take care of themselves if you're doing your work. Make sure you submit quizzes on time. And if there's a test to do, we will be doing our testing in the testing center this semester. There'll be a window of days. I will tell you what hours the testing center is open. You have to be there at least 2 hours before they close in order to have time to take the test. They will not let you sit for the test if there's not time to take it. If you miss a test, if you let the whole week go by and you can't take it, then you will have a 0. If something comes up that you know that week's going to be a problem, you have to let me know you're not going to make it ahead of the deadline for me to even consider extending a deadline for you. So if you're having difficulty, here are the things you can do. Try more of the example problems that are posted. Use the helps available in my math lab. Go into the study plan in my math lab. The math tutoring centers or e-tutoring, which I'll give you more information about. Make an appointment with me. If you can't make my office hours, I have other times I could be available. And bring questions to our weekly meeting. If you email me before class, like within a couple hours before class starts, I can just start class with the questions that have been emailed to me too, and you wouldn't even have to say anything. I would just do problems like that. And what you'll find is your questions are also the questions other students have. So please do not hesitate to interact with me about what is difficult and what maybe wasn't explained well enough for you, or what your background hadn't prepared you well enough for. We'll fill in those gaps as well as we can for every topic. Best way to communicate with me is by email. During the week, you'll most often hear from me within 24 hours, if not within an hour or two, depending on the time. Anything after 9 p.m. won't be addressed until the next morning for sure. On weekends, you got to cut me a little slack because it's a weekend for me. You'll hear from me by 4 Sunday afternoon. I try to get to you in time so that if you were planning on getting something done during the weekend, you'd get an answer. So, before the first day, you should have viewed this. You need to buy the online access code. If you're already in the first day of class looking at this, then you need to get that immediately. We may log you in with temporary access today. And get going. Do the first module is just instructions for using my math lab basically, and this orientation is part of the first module. When you get to Unit 2, that's where the real mathematics will start. And you may find that that is solving equations and some things you may be good at. You may be even able to get ahead and get through that even before class starts if you understand how to do the lessons. I look forward to meeting you, and I encourage you to look around in our site and figure out what questions you might have so that if they're not answered in the first class, you make sure they are before you leave. My name is Pat Doobie. I'll be your instructor, and I look forward to meeting you all.